How I got into comedy, it's like I was watching someone, I'm like, I'm funnier than half of these guys. But being funny in a context like this is completely
different because
from,
it's a conversation. It's
exactly, it's a
different.
conversation. We know each other, we've met. I can just bring up, oh, I haven't got the call yet. We would laugh. Like both of us actually, we grew up relatively like lower middle class. So when I started getting money, that was when I'm like, okay, now I have things to buy. I remember when I first started working, bro, every month I would spend maybe like 800, 900 dirhams on just clothes.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Diaries. Today we have an amazing set of guests. I've been on their podcast and ruined their lives for 2 or so hours.
Almost two.
Yeah, almost 2 hours, and they had to sit through me. So it's my turn to sit through them. Welcome to the show, Joshua and Janine. How are you guys?
Hey, good.
All good, all
Great.
good. Thanks for having
Right,
us.
I should probably say Joshua and Janine.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
How we
That's
do
it
it,
is.
But yeah, thank you for coming. It's truly a pleasure to have you guys.
Thanks for
Thank
having us.
you.
We're
I'm
so
guessing
excited.
the parking was a problem, right?
Not really. I actually, because I parked in the back.
Okay,
So-
this way.
This way, yeah. Yeah.
You found parking there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He
impressive
has
because
good
like
parking karma, I have to say.
I have really good parking karma, by the way. Even like in the places where you could never find parking, there will always be one slot just
Dedicated
me.
for Josh.
Yeah. But then there's
I'm
a,
a little envious. Not gonna get really.
but I have
Me
very
too.
bad queuing karma. So like if I'm checking out at like a Carrefour,
Okay.
I'll be like, okay, this is the shortest line. I stand there and then the person in front has something wrong with their barcode. Then the cashier has to go all the way to the vegetable section, get something. I'm just standing there. All the other queues, even if they're so much longer, are like already done. So I'm just like,
I mean, thinking like as a guy who drives quite a bit, parks a lot, I would any
You
day
would take
take
that?
the parking over the
Mm.
queues, right? Like screw
Yeah.
the queues. Like
and signal
I'm-
karma, it's clear and then suddenly red light for me. I'm like, all the time. I'm always first in a signal.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I have like 4 other family members at home. So when there is like a long line, each of us stand in one line. First come,
Oh,
first serve. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. You just distribute the efforts.
Yeah.
Delegation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, like I think like I owe my dad that much, right? You know, stand in the line,
Yes.
paying a lot of my bills. So it's the least I can do for
Shout
him.
out to dad.
Shout out to dad. But yeah, how's your New Year's? How is it?
Really good, actually. I can't believe how much time has actually flown. We're almost towards end of January at this
Yeah.
point. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but so far all good. Can't complain. Was supposed to travel, that didn't work out, but so far everything is okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for this year. Seems like we have a lot planned.
Yeah,
Travel wise, podcast wise,
yeah.
health wise, maybe. Question mark.
Perhaps.
I saw the new episode, right? Like I've
Yes.
seen as a probably an overstatement. It was passively playing in my ears while I was looking
Okay.
at something else,
Okay.
which is what I
It
typically
still
do.
counts as a play. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what. Like
Yeah.
I was just there to give the play, you know,
Exactly.
and like all your retention graphs gonna go up.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing.
As long as you keep it until the end, we're good.
Yeah. No, but like I was listening to it, like
You were the first one to even comment on the podcast. so-
Yeah, I kind of understood they appreciate why commenting helps because like being on the other side,
Mm.
I feel nice when somebody comments.
Yeah.
And now like I feel like you don't appreciate the effort that goes into the content that you practically entertain yourself with.
So
right?
Yeah.
true. So
Yeah.
true.
And
Takes a lot.
yeah.
It takes a lot.
And what I would imagine what we do, what you do is not as much compared to a lot of big creators who are putting in a lot of effort, time.
Oh
and-
yeah,
Yeah.
and
thing.
production
Yeah.
and money into it.
Like there's so many things that we personally slack on when it comes to a podcast, but again we consider ourselves like an amateur podcaster. But so the weirdest thing happened I mean not the weirdest thing, but it's something that I realized, like this is the only episode. So the last episode we recorded was with Alina and Umer, shout out to them. They have this crazy fan base which I noticed where they like to engage with them. And this is the first time we ever got a comment with timestamps of the episode.
Huh.
I don't know if this person had done it through AI or listened through the whole episode and decided to help us out with timestamps. But can you imagine like me listening to, because we personally don't do timestamps on our episodes.
Okay.
But if I watch like an episode of something and if I have the dedication, okay, 0038, they talk about this. The 0041 timestamp, they talk about this. And someone took time to put
sit and-
timestamps
yeah.
on that. And I'm like, wow, they must have these really supportive followers or fans in a way. But that was crazy. I thought it was really crazy, but it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because what I do when I am editing is like I listen to the full thing. I start off because it's a multicam setup. Like I nest
Mhm.
within the sequence, and then I add like titles for it, like this topic, this thing, and I kind of break it down in a way that you can move around the pieces to
Right.
make more
Mhm.
sense of the conversation.
Mhm.
And especially when he's speaking, he likes to go all over the place, talk about A, B, C, D, E, and come back to A all over.
Like
And
me.
it doesn't make sense, like we've spoken. So I do all of that, and like that itself gives like the timestamps, which makes life a lot
Yeah.
easier. And
Yeah.
you might have noticed that there's like the pop-up that shows.
Yeah.
So we do it anyways, might as well. At first when we started, I feel like we were structured, like all the candid conversations we started pulling out and stuff. But then the candid conversation, although you can't probably hear most of it, like it's just adds a little
Yeah.
spice. So it shows that we are humans at the end of
Yeah.
the day. Because
Yeah.
that too, like nowadays, like if you scroll through YouTube, you see like a lot of these AI content. Everybody looks like AI. It's terrifying and fascinating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where they take the voice of someone and then they take their picture and then they just animate the picture into a video where it talks
Yeah. Or
with the AI
also
voice
now when you
behind
upload a
it.
video on YouTube, I
You
don't know
have
if you
to-
noticed,
yeah, you have- you
there's
have
a
to-
checkbox where like I nothing in this
Is altered by
altered by AI, all
Yeah.
those sort of things. Because I
Even on
published-
Yeah.
Instagram, it's there, right? Like it
Oh, yes,
asks
yes,
you to
yes,
check
yes,
if
yes,
it's
yes.
AI because like I saw like there was a recent news by they're on Instagram, they're creating like these fake AI profiles
Mm.
which just generates AI content made by Meta, right? They generate all these and like it just feeds you content that you like. It's
Oh.
and there was like a lot of backlash over it because it's kind of ridiculous that you need extra people to make content. Like
True,
it is an
true.
absurd situation where AI has come into.
Mm.
Adidas has released the first ever campaign, which is only
Purely AI?
purely AI athletes
Okay.
on their Instagram. I remember seeing this, and all the comments were like, "Yeah, the future of AI is here." Of course, there's always two sides to every coin, right? Where they're like, "Oh, so like real athletes won't even get their own sponsorship deals now because everything can be made by AI, and they can enhance the body. Can they make it okay? I want a runner's body. I want a swimmer's body. I can do anything."
Yeah, you can, and then that's where the sketchy thing also comes in, right? Then you look into the ethnicities and
Mhm.
Yeah,
what
Mm.
color
diversity and inclusion. You
Yeah.
need what?
But
And
don't you think as this goes further, you get to appreciate the quote unquote natural, non AI stuff
Yeah.
even more?
you do. So
Yeah.
a funny story is that like, can you get my phone? This is something like okay. I'm not. We're not sponsored by my company, but they do pay my salary, so I feel
Oh,
a
you need
little.
you need to get on the good books.
Yeah, I need to get on the
And
good
bonus
books.
time will come up anytime.
Yeah, bonus time. I just got a promotion, so all these
sorry.
things has to
Yes,
come
let's
out.
go.
Congratulations. then.
So
Starting the year right.
yeah, 2025 is
Yes.
brilliant. Okay, Joshua, do you have your phone? Joshua, Janine, either of you have your phone?
Yeah,
I don't
mine.
have mine.
Okay.
You go, Josh.
I'm gonna show you something.
You sending me something?
Yeah, just give me your phone number. I'll blur it out in the.
You're not even gonna answer
okay,
your phone
so-
anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You're going to get a phone call.
Okay.
Just pretend you are trying to do the interiors of your home.
Trying to do the interiors.
Of your home. Let's say you want to renovate your home.
Okay.
Okay, just pretend you're renovating your home. Put it on loudspeaker.
I haven't
When-
got a.
Yeah, you'll get a call in like
Yeah.
45 seconds.
Oh, you sent my number to someone to do this thing?
No,
Or
this is you fill the form in a company website.
Okay.
And you get the idea is that you get a call within 5 to 10 minutes.
okay.
Because we've noticed that our salespeople are human beings and they can't really do 5 to 10 minutes because that is an absurd ask of them.
Mhm.
So there is an automated response system, but let's just leave it at that. Let me not spoil the rest.
Mm.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, my ringer's on just in case.
yeah,
So
So-
the SLA of this form
yeah,
for them to reply is 5 to 10
yeah.
minutes.
So the idea is that like there's hot leads and cold leads, right? Like as soon as somebody fills the form, that's where they're at their hottest,
They
fresh
just-
in the
yeah.
mind. The idea is that
yeah.
you get a call before they even go to the next website.
Yeah.
We want to capture them at that point, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the highest
Their
kind of-
interest.
And typically the target market for this is like boomers, right? Not very tech savvy,
yeah.
right? We don't want them to spend more time, read more things. We want to capture them very quickly.
Mm.
Did you get a call yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so that
It's
is
the
something.
weekend, maybe they're off.
There's somebody I have to catch after like on Monday. But yeah, so that's the idea. And we had like internal SLAs for our sales team and things. So we tried talking to the team, like the sales guys and everything. but also at the end of the day, they have to take their leaves. They are not available after 5. And the company does have a good work-life culture, right? Like, so after 6,
okay,
we don't want to
okay.
trouble the
Bother
people. It's
them.
Friday,
Yeah.
Saturdays, Sundays becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So we needed to find a solution. A, to take care of that, and B, also when we expand and stuff, there's again, humans can do only X amount of work, right? And for your X plus 1, you need more people. So
True.
we needed to figure out what is the best way to scale by hiring.
So are you firing humans?
No,
too?
we are not firing humans,
I
thankfully.
think they're just taking into account what happens after office hours, weekends.
Yeah.
Trying to
And
be more productive with.
in a way, it is like the humans are put into more productive roles,
Mhm.
right? Like you don't need to sit and take like each of these calls like 45 minutes where this client is giving you the entire life history lesson of them. Oh, I have this, I have this. We had a French client who's like, oh, monsieur, I have a small barbecue in my garden. And like, it is, nobody cares. Like, just give me the
That sounded
TLDR.
Italian to me.
It's I'm very racist towards the Europeans. You still didn't get a call.
No, not yet.
That is fantastic. I have somebody's getting it.
Someone's getting fired.
No,
Uh,
nothing
the-
yet.
An AI.
The
AI.
Slack is going to go haywire.
This is why human interaction is still needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
human.
This is the moral of the story.
It
Lesson
is
learned.
right. Like it is fascinating at the same time. Like it doesn't compete with a human, no matter how good
Yeah,
Yes.
an automated system is.
Yeah.
It's just automated at the end of the day.
true.
And it really is frustrating. You haven't gotten a call yet. But yeah, sorry, I've been talking quite a bit. But
All good. All good. I love how there's a third person in this, and I appreciate it so much. I love it.
so Ghazala is there to call out on my shit.
Okay,
Mhm.
And one.
you keep him in check then. Like,
Oh, so when you guys posted the episode, Ghazala went through the entire thing and she was like spamming the WhatsApp group. Let me find the messages.
It's like, what is he talking about?
The
no, but to be honest, like as my compliment to him, he's so smart. I have to say, everyone. He knows what he's talking about. He's not like one of those guys who just come on and blah 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 blah. I learned a lot about a lot of things whenever he came on. Especially, I was I don't want to say the word, but I'm going to say it. I was jealous
Don't-
of his
don't-
podcast
don't.
setup.
Oh yeah. That you know what?
Yeah,
I'll take that.
He has
we
he has
spent
like
a lot of
proper
money on
10
this.
people team, cameras. He has people researching guests and everything. For us, we just literally look at Instagram,
Yeah.
see what they have done. But you guys have like dug deep, found like
Yeah.
history,
I think it's
dark
just
secrets.
it's just the type of podcasting. Like
Exactly.
So for you guys,
Yeah.
I know you guys because I've been to your
Yeah.
home. Like we've had a chat before, after. So that kind of removes that layer of requirements for research.
Mhm.
And second, like the idea for this is just let's have a casual chat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But when we're having like a little serious guest and stuff, it does become
Exactly.
like we don't want to look like idiots,
I 100% agree.
right? Like, and
100% agree.
that scares the fuck out of me,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? So we end up doing probably a lot of research. Everybody gets like a 4-page dossier minimum,
Yeah.
Mm.
and then it just and Zainab was the other day. She was telling me that I was listening to your old episodes when we barely used to do research, and those were more fun. There was more conversation.
Yeah.
And now the problem is that in the pursuit of being so precise and practical, we've kind of lost touch of what it
Mm.
is.
The
Right now,
essence
fun
and
side
of
the
it.
personal touch and everything. Because but I understand. But you're a business podcast or like
I mean, the name itself.
like like learning from industry experts sort of thing. So I totally understand. And if you're getting super high people profile who have no time on their hands and you're getting them on a weekend,
Hmm.
you need to make sure, okay, I know
Yeah.
what I want to get out of this podcast. I need to know this guy so we can just jump right into it, and then
I would like a
Take it from
4-page dossier of me, though.
I can do it for you.
it'd be surprising if you can't do it, right? Like after being married, like I can't even fill up 4 pages.
What's your favorite food of?
Wait, is that like a real thing? Like, do you guys know everything about each other?
So
Very good question.
I found out today she didn't even know where I went to do my master's. So we were just literally walking because she wants to get back into studying, and she was like, "Where did you get your master's degree again?" And I'm like, "Why don't you know?" And then so there's
We've
still
been
things
together
which
for
we
5
learn,
years
we
now.
forget. But of course, like I think the main things that we know about each other are always going to be there. But
I think being in a relationship means you learn with like about each other
yeah,
every single day, something
Yeah.
new. And even with old couples, like it's how it is. You
Yeah.
always surprise one another, and you know, people evolve, people change, you change together. You also have a life outside of the relationship. He has work, I have work, you know, we have
Yeah.
other friends. Josh, maybe not so much.
I'm
But
a
you know, there are other
married
things that
solo.
we do outside of the relationship. So there will always be something new
Mm.
to share with one another. And that's,
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of a
And she still
relationship.
continues
Yeah.
to surprise me a lot as well. So in good ways. And
I hope so. I'm like, what?
like whenever I record an episode and I'm like editing the podcast, I just like listen to how she speaks and I'm like, you speak so well. I don't know, like, will I ever get to this stage? And I compliment her, you know, like,
it happens when you're editing a lot, right? You pick out the faults in yourself more than you pick
Yeah,
out the faults in
exactly.
other people, because you're not just like everybody else, like with the team, they get like an edited cut, right?
Mm.
Right.
They have like the smooth conversation. We are going in there like cutting ourselves in,
Yeah.
and like you have to listen to
Yeah.
yourself like multiple times, repeat till you find that right spot. That gets to you. Like it got to me like at an early stage, right? Like it was like, oh God, why do I sound like a whiny bitch?
Exactly. And for her, she speaks like straight sentences. There's no like, let me think about what I'm gonna ask. For me, I'm like, oh, what I was about to say? What is that word that I'm looking for? All those sort of things. So, you know, like, it makes you feel worse and then you praise other people more. And then you're like, I need to get.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is, right? That and it still hasn't called. It's really bugging me. But
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this already.
but no, you know the good thing about the multicam setup in this case, right? What
Mhm.
happens is like when you're doing the arms and things, you can kind of change the scene and like hide the cuts,
Yes.
which it becomes a nightmare if you're just doing with like your setup where
Yeah.
like you're doing it with
Mm.
one camera and you can see all the where it's being
You see
cut.
the jump.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in that sense, this makes it a lot easier as well. But that is like your setup's also like financially friendly.
Yeah.
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 This has been a very expensive operation. Not only that we spent on cameras and stuff, we also spend on food afterwards, and then there's a lot of stomachs to feed,
I
so,
know,
which doesn't make it very pocket friendly. But that's the question, right? You're a wedding photographer,
No,
right?
not anymore. Used
Since
to.
when? Well, last time when I came, you were a wedding photographer, right?
No, it was.
No, she was a
I
wedding.
was
Okay.
a wedding
That's-
photographer. I worked for Cartier.
Okay.
I handle the partnership side
Okay.
of the commercial aspect. So all of the partners of Cartier in the UAE market, travel retail,
Mm.
our boutiques at the airport, and then e-commerce.
Okay. We strictly did no research for this one. This one's supposed to be a casual one.
That's fine.
Now he'll make like a now, even if it's going to be a casual conversation, I'm going to
Yeah.
read.
No, I've researched Joshua. I know he works at SA. You know
Yeah.
what the
Yes,
funny
he does
thing is?
work
Like
for
I was in the
SAP.
like the podcast the other day, and I was like shitting on consultants,
Mhm.
and then I figured out like he's like a customer success manager,
Yes.
and I was like, oh, did I just like shit on his profession?
No. I don't do any consulting work. I just make sure that our customers are happy. But we
That
do have
they're successful.
we have external consultants, we have internal consultants, but I barely deal with them because they're paid. I mean, even if a customer is already a customer of ours,
Mm.
if they want to take advantage of like a consultant, they have to pay, and no one's willing to do that.
So you've entirely focused on whoever's buying the SAP software system?
So SAP has multiple line of businesses. The one that I am currently under is called Success Factors,
Mhm.
which is our HR solution. So every time, like most companies here, the way that you check your pay slips, how payroll is run, how you apply for leave, your performance and goal development plans, everything is done by Success Factors. So I have a portfolio of different customers in UAE and Oman and Kuwait. So I just look out after them. So I'm not in the technical side of things. So if you would ask me like what happens the back end, how does the ERP thing work, I wouldn't know. I'm just in helping customers with a strategy. What is your HR plans for the year? Do you have a recruitment drive? Do you want to build skills, learning, all those sort of things? That's the main thing.
So will it happen like on a yearly basis? How does it work? Like, so do you check in with the clients on a yearly basis?
No, on a monthly basis actually. So I visit customers maybe once a month, and at the same time like once a month, or like maybe like twice in a month, I would be speaking to the customer, checking how everything is is going, because they will all have their different plans, different strategies, what they want to accomplish from the HR side.
Mm.
If they want to start using AI, that's a big thing that's going to happen in SAP. So yeah, there's so many different things that
Yeah, it's a
the
huge
customers want.
ecosystem, right? Like
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not just the HR, they have their finance side, the ERP side,
Mm-hmm.
and the full
Everything.
HANA side of things as well, right?
Yes.
But how does your typical meeting with a customer look like?
If it's like a Teams meeting, I would have 4 points or 5 points that I want to discuss. So, what are any challenges that they're currently happening? What projects they're currently working on? Any updates or upgrades that is going to be happening from a success factor side? AI is always a topic that we like to discuss with the customer. But unfortunately for UAE, we don't have the capability of AI yet. It's more of Saudi, Kuwait, Bahrain happening right now. UAE, it's still in the pipeline, I think somewhere this year. So we'll be discussing that. And overall customer feedback, if they have a renewal coming up, because we are as a pay-as-you-go, not pay-as-you-go service, but like a subscription service. So when the renewal's coming, are you ready to renew? Do you want to do an early renewal? Is there anything that you want to upsell on? Anything else that you want to take in based on your company strategy? All those things. And that's how
And
it usually goes.
what does the AI in theory supposed to do if it's there?
It's something crazy actually. Which do you have an HR system at work?
We have Bezat.
Okay, I'm not sure what that is.
It's a much lower down, terrible,
Okay.
shittier version of
Okay.
whatever SAP is
Okay.
probably offering.
So one of the AI things that's gonna happen is it's called Jewel.
Okay.
Basically, it's a chatbot that is there, homepage of your HR, so you can check your organizational structure, all those sort of things. And I can type, can you block 15th March to 20th March for personal leave? It will get it done.
But
Can I-
if it's not for the chatbot, how many steps would it actually take to book a leave?
Not long actually.
So it's kind of redundant, right?
Not redundant, but like people like to have that ease, Like, okay, something that has a lot of steps. If I want to promote you,
Okay.
so my manager, can you promote Joshua to this level, make him report under this person, and change his pay structure from a P1 to a P2?
Okay.
Type that in, and it gets done. I mean, there's going to be some questions. Can you confirm? Do you have the approvals? Yes, and then it's already done. So there are some things which are like that. Or if you want to get a pay slip, like let's say from 2021, can you please get my March 2021 pay slip in the system? It'll pull it out.
So it's the grand vision, right? Like I feel like some of the AI things are still just being done for the sake
It's
of
still
it being.
technically very, very new, right? So people really don't know what are the full capabilities of it. Like now you're just seeing like, okay, I can generate a full picture just by typing. Can you put a sunset in the background? This car is driving on Sheikh Zayed Road. Something can be thrown off. So like all these things, and I think only time can tell like what is the
Actual use case of
actual.
But I could see it being used by someone who's in senior management who every single minute counts and they don't have time to actually sit down if they don't have a personal assistant. Most of them do. But if they don't, I could see them just typing out something and getting maybe 2 minutes out of their
Because
time
otherwise you have to
saved.
like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
just give another example. Like there's a compliance training that's pushed to everyone in the company. Every single person has to do it from lower to top management. They have to get it done before a deadline of March 31st. Otherwise you have to pull a report, download this Excel, see, okay, I have a team of 20 people, 4 people did not do this. If you like ask AI to do it, like, can you tell me who hasn't done this training, and send them a reminder that this has to be done, without like having a manager to pull like an Excel. All
Okay,
those
no,
sort of
in
things.
that sense, it makes sense, right? Like you kind of get rid of the entire reporting and presenting and all these extra hassles of it, and you just send
And
a
then
reminder.
there's also part of it, which is like the Gen AI part of it. Okay, I'm going to interview you. This is his CV. This is the position. Can you ask me questions that I can ask him for this particular position? It will generate interview questions. So that makes it easier for HR people, especially who are doing
Not the
at least-
technical roles, right? Yeah.
No, not the technical roles. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the first line of
Yeah.
interviews. Like,
So it's like the general HR managers where they just check
exactly.
if it's a fit.
I check.
is it-
Okay,
Yeah.
he speaks well. He knows what he's talking about. I think he can go on to the second round of interviews. That's where it gets a little bit more complicated, but yeah, it can still help the way for the HR admins technically in a company. Yeah.
And since we haven't asked Janine any questions, when you were a wedding photographer, right?
Yeah.
How would you go about? And this is going to be a very mixed. We just spoke about SAP, and now we're going to wedding photography. But like when you were a wedding photographer, how would you? I've seen a lot of freelancers struggling to get clients and everything. How does that process work for you? How would you go about finding clients?
So I've never really done wedding photography as a full-time wedding photographer. It was always a side thing. I would always have my 9 to 5. Wedding photography would be the weekend hustle. I started in the Philippines when I was in college. So my last 2 years of university, I was already in sort of interning for another wedding photographer back home. I came back. I did, I wouldn't say free, but almost like super discounted wedding, almost just charging them 20% of my usual charge. Build up my portfolio, have a couple of friends to model for you. And then it just really started there. At that time when I was doing wedding photography, I found I would say a niche in the wedding photography world, at least in the Middle East, that wasn't there yet, that was available in Asia or America, where it was very like raw pictures, more natural, not super heavily edited photos with lights, etc., and more of a lifestyle portrait style, with a vintage film look, etc., and something like that. And I think that sort of me finding that niche side to wedding photography and finding that two couples that wanted that sort of style of photography, and then they started just word of mouth. After that, I started with some social media ads that really helped. Again, because there weren't a lot of wedding photographers that offered that style at that time, it was easier. But I think now it's starting to be overly saturated.
Oh yeah.
And the dangerous side to that is people have to, well, at least wedding photographers, especially freelancers, have to start lowering down their price just to compete with others. And then it becomes a dangerous cycle of everyone starting to lower down their prices just because couples would find someone else.
Because technically at this day and age, anyone with even like a smartphone camera can say, I'm a wedding photographer. Take really actually some good pictures.
Yeah, I've seen on Instagram like these wedding photographers, they do a lot of the shots with their iPhones, but with like crazy like tripods and all these
That's
things.
a new thing now where you can hire, you'll have your wedding photographers with their professional DSLRs, and then you have a phone wedding photographer
who does the reels,
who could give you pictures like at the same day and just send everything to you that you can post on your reels, on some of your Instagram posts. But then you have the professional photos.
Yeah, because their turnaround time is usually like a few months.
It's on your phone. Yeah. It takes a while to edit photos.
They
edit a little bit.
I know, because like one of my coworkers got married recently, and he was telling me that there's like a bunch of raw images on my computer that I just never got to sorting it out, and we've never got to edit.
Yeah.
Our wedding album is still literally maybe one folder of like 50 to 70 pictures, which are very nice. And then the rest is like so many raw footage, like thousands of photos, you know? Yeah. So.
And like I was thinking about it. I went to a wedding recently, and I thought like, I was looking at all the photographers, the food and stuff. What hit me was like, I would imagine that wedding's probably the easiest sales pitch, because you can go to them and be like, oh, do you really want a bad thing for your wedding? Do you really want to cheapen out on your wedding? And does that actually work, or am I just like imagining a situation?
You would think that would work, especially with the wedding industry, because most couples would be like, you know what, let's just splurge. It's our wedding. We get married once, if ever.
It's going to be the
maybe
best day
twice.
of our lives.
Yes, but then in Dubai, usually the weddings that happen here are either like the secondary weddings that just to celebrate with friends, but family's not around, but the main wedding happens elsewhere. It could be like a quiet dinner reception here and there. Nowadays, Dubai is starting to be a wedding destination, but back in that time, not yet. And it was a smaller, I would say
more niche
budget per couple, because it wasn't their main wedding.
Right.
So it was difficult, and it was difficult to make them pay the price that I wanted to be paid. And so because I had the luxury to pick, quote unquote, pick clients, because I had my 9 to 5, it wasn't a must that I had to fill a certain number of clients. I wouldn't book them if they're not okay with my style, my way of working, and the price that I'm asking
and your turnaround
for,
time
and my turnaround time.
Yeah.
So I would say I was privileged enough to pick
Yeah.
quote unquote, the clients.
And the turnaround time is what, like for you? at
Oh,
least?
usually less than a month for like a couple of photos, maybe around 30 to 50 photos that they could start posting if they wanted to. And then contractually 3 months to get them everything.
Okay.
So to go through, curate all of the photos that were taken from, like, I would say around 1,000 plus photos usually per wedding.
And do you do the sorting or?
Yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I used to do, yeah, that was the nightmare part. I loved the shooting part, being with the couple, roaming around, being on, standing on my
Seeing those
foot.
intimate moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being in it, but then the editing part was, not my thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to outsource it because it was my style. And I feared at that time that I would lose the essence of people booking me because of my style if I outsourced it to someone else.
And I would also
Yeah.
imagine like the clients would probably be unhappy, right? Because like it is their intimate
Exactly.
moment. Like, they
And
don't
my
want-
pitch when I talk to them is that everything's done by me, from the photography to your wedding edits to the album, etc. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just me at that time. We were a duo, and then we would have like second photographers, third photographers.
Yeah.
If it was a bigger wedding,
I've had like somebody tell me one of their relatives' wedding or something. There was like a couple of photographers and they lost all the footage. I was like, I
That's your worst nightmare. Can
Yeah.
you imagine like explaining to a couple, sorry, I lost all your footage? That could happen. But that's why you need backup photographers. You really can't do weddings alone unless it's like a super, super tiny micro wedding, as they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for our wedding,
Yeah.
we had almost 4 photographers, right? And that's when I learned like how intense it could be. First, like Janine gave instructions, because now if you see most wedding photographers, they come in like casual clothes.
Mm.
Janine was like, guys, you need to dress up a little bit because, I don't think you said this, but now there is this thing where like, okay, I can't just wear all black and like a jacket with all like pockets to fill up everything. I have to actually look, okay, maybe long sleeves, slacks, black shoes. They will direct everything, bro. Like, okay, now you're walking this way. Okay, turn around here. Don't look at the lens at this part. Okay, now look at me. Let's make it like a candid shot.
sounds
And
like a nightmare.
man, and there's one guy
If
sitting.
you're not an extrovert, it's going to be difficult because you have to connect with the guests. You have to connect with the couple. You should be able to direct the couple as well.
Yeah, if you want a nice candid shot, you have to make a
Yeah.
joke so the person at the other end of the camera is laughing. Okay, let me get that nice photo.
Mm.
Let me make them feel comfortable, because I'm personally very camera shy.
Yeah.
You should ask her like how awkward I get in front of a camera, and then the guy has to like connect with you, make you feel calm.
I would imagine myself, right? Like not shy of the camera or anything, but like when I'm put on the spot and I know
Yeah.
somebody's going to take picture, it like gets to you,
Mm.
like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
feel nervous.
And that's a
Yeah.
difficult side of it.
Like, how's
Being
my
a
hair?
wedding
Am I-
photographer, you need to get the natural reaction of the couple, of everyone around. So you have
Yeah.
to be directing when it comes to some photos, but then the rest of it just happens. So you have to be quick. You have to be fast at your feet. You should also know your camera quick enough to change the settings when the light changes, or when there's a flash suddenly, or you're moving from sunset to evening to morning, and then the sun, especially in Dubai, like the sun is really harsh at one hour, and then the next it's like
Soft and
not
yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
you have to be quick at all times.
Or turn
So-
it to auto mode.
yeah, not really when you're a wedding photographer, because then defeats the purpose of wedding professional photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is like the wedding industry is quite an interesting industry, right? Like, because when I think about it, it feels like an absurd amount of money being
Mm.
paid for like a day of event.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes, that's true.
But
And as long as you attach the word wedding to something, let's say makeup, for example, you go for a normal makeup session, it might cost you 500 dirhams. But then you say, I want a bridal or a wedding makeup look. Suddenly that number jumps to
Yeah.
like 3 times more than the usual price that
Everything.
you
If
would
there's a
pay.
word attached to wedding to it, shoots up.
Yeah.
Bouquet of flowers. Oh, can I get a bouquet? Like $90. Oh, it's for a wedding. Oh, it's gonna be 400 something. Like,
that like
Yeah.
straight up, right? Like it's
straight up, man, straight up. And like I think that's the one thing that really tested us a lot before getting married, was how much budget. Because when we spoke to a wedding planner in the beginning, she's like, okay, what's your budget? You give a number. She's like, okay, be prepared to spend like
more than that.
or have a backup of 50% more in
Jeez.
your back pocket, basically. And they say bring cash to the event. You'll never know when you need cash. But technically, ours is in Philippines. Here, maybe you can use card in a lot of places where like make sure you have a lot of cash on you on the wedding day because something will go wrong. You'll need cash to give someone to get something, to do this, to do that. And
But then what the fuck is the wedding planner doing?
give the cash to the wedding planner.
Yes.
Wedding planner will get it done. Because
Isn't the entire point of planning to not have last minute?
oh
It
no,
happens.
something always happens. For us,
Yeah.
one big thing we had an outdoor wedding, but few days before there was rain.
Yeah.
So we started getting nervous. Another thing is we planned a wedding, which most beautiful place I've ever seen, by the way, but there's an active volcano in the back, which has erupted
Chance of
quite a few
erupting
times.
at any moment.
And on your drive to this venue, you'll see signs that says volcano evacuation
Evacuation site.
evacuation center. So they have like a place that is there, which is like shelter for in case this volcano erupts. So that was like so many things could go wrong. You have no idea during a wedding, and it's she was taking a lot of the hits. By the way, I mean like because she's in the wedding industry, so she knows the ins and outs. For me, I'm just like chilling and let her do all the work. She was having late night calls, early morning calls, speaking to different people because we had people flying in from different countries as well. So we can't just have like we need to make sure that everyone gets something at the end out of it. But it was a unique experience because that's when you see like, okay, like these are the people who I really care about who are coming to see me on a very important day, and it really, really gets to you and it gets very emotional and sentimental. So
Here's a question, right? Like when you're flying in people, who pays for the tickets? Because I've had this conversation with several people.
I
don't think there's a rule to it.
Yeah,
But I think at least for immediate family, like parents, we paid.
we
But
paid for immediate family and the people who were taking really a lot of time, like people who are coming from the States who have to like maybe 2 connecting flights. We would maybe take care of their room
Yeah.
Okay.
or
stay
or
was taken
subsidize
care of.
Right.
the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that's a good question as well.
Yeah.
Who pays for the rooms? Right. I get that flights fair. You know
Mm.
what? You come, you
Mm.
don't come, up to you.
Yeah.
But I would imagine at least a room should be taken care of,
Mm.
right?
Not everyone, I guess.
No, but
Yeah.
we were clear with our friends that if you're coming, let us know. We'll try to. We spoke to the hotel, our hotel, and a nearby hotel, saying that we have a wedding coming up. We're expecting around how many 100 something people. Can we get a preferred rate? So we helped them to make travel plans easier.
Mm.
We arranged all the transport from Manila airport to this place as well and going back. So we're like, okay, we arranged everything. We got you a subsidized rate and we're helping you out with like a lot of things. So it can make your life easier, but of course there is still some cost associated to it.
So most of our friends sort of factored that was their gift to us. We never asked for like a wedding gift. And so
I have
that
so
was
many
the
questions
gift.
about that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But-
we didn't have a registry.
Yeah, we didn't do
Yeah.
registry. Yeah.
When it comes to like, see, for you guys, probably it was slightly easier because 150 people.
Mhm.
While it's a lot, it's not that lot because if you come to like an Indian wedding,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
6,000 people.
I mean,
and-
for a Lebanese, Filipino, and Filipino Indian, like 100 is not like it's something that is
Yeah.
not even a normal
We
thing.
were getting messages from our parents like, can you invite this cousin? You've never seen him, but he apparently is going to be in Philippines during that time. Can
There
you
were a lot
invite
of
him?"
raised eyebrows
Yeah.
and a few frictional moments here and there, but
Yeah.
because for us, like back in my place, it's like there's a lot of relatives and things like fifth cousin, seventh cousin, sister, his daughter I've never
She's
met.
been to India. So I've never been to an Indian wedding. She's been, and she knows like
Mm.
the
It
lack of
is-
sleep, the
And
It
the
is
crowd.
a
3 days
logistical
of-
nightmare,
yeah.
right? And there's so many people, and like that kind of like eliminates any opportunity for like destination weddings and all these things. It's just
This
because
is why we opted for a destination wedding.
just to get rid of.
Yeah.
I've been considering it. Like
Yes.
if I want to get married,
Yes.
I probably want to do it. Like I've thought about like. I don't know why, but I thought about it. It's not like I'm dating or anything. It's just fucking lonely as fuck. But like I thought about it.
Planning for the future.
Yeah, I thought about it. I need to set it up in a way that the bride has 10% quota, groom has 10% quota,
Mm.
family not included,
Mm.
Mm.
close family not included. That
Okay.
would like, because I just go through the budgets and all of these of the wedding. I don't think that's the best use of money.
So it depends. Like Janine convinced not convinced me, but I saw the reason
Be
behind it.
careful
So
with
I'm
your words.
no, I'm the first child in my family to get married.
Okay.
And I'm the middle child. I have an older sister and younger brother. I was the first to get married amongst my siblings. And I realized, okay, it would be nice for my parents to see or have their have their son go through a full wedding and everything. Even I was considering because even during COVID there were people who are having Zoom weddings
Yeah.
and all those
Yeah.
sort of things. But
I've seen some of it's. I would just postpone my wedding at that point. Like it's
no. But they did it for a good reason, so they won't have to invite people.
okay.
so-
You know what? Now, yeah.
Yeah, it
sounds,
makes a lot. Like I know people who went to Seychelles, had a beach wedding, maybe 10 people only. Everyone else dialed in through Zoom or whatever, and like that's perfect. So you still got your beach wedding. You still are marrying the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, and then
You
everyone
spend
else
less.
is just dialing in and cheering on with you and everything. But
Yeah, I think like even in my place, like because of how many people are abroad and things, what they started doing is doing a YouTube live stream of it, and everybody gets a
Yeah.
YouTube link in
Yeah, yeah,
advance.
We did that.
we also did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's,
we have family all over the world, really, and
yeah, everybody tune into my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was
it's on
it
our
was
Half
a
a Nice Day
live.
podcast channel. You can please feel free to subscribe when you're
Yeah, send what is it called? Like the tokens that they do.
yeah.
kids, super. What is it? Super chats. Yeah,
Yeah, super chats.
super chats.
Yeah.
Please send us $15 every time you want to.
Buy my coffee for tomorrow.
But
all those sort
the
of
other
things.
question I had is like when it comes to wedding, the gifts. Okay, so again, I went to this wedding. I know the guy. He was a guest on the podcast. He invited me to the wedding. I went. I don't know his wife or his to-be wife. Okay, I went to the wedding and I got him a watch. Okay, and everybody was giving me shit because like you're supposed to get something for the couple. I was like, what do you mean? I don't know her. Like, why would I get her a gift? And
What watch is it?
it was a good pilot, Polis. Yeah, it was
Okay.
a Polis. It was a beautiful watch.
Usually the gifts for weddings should be for the couple.
But I don't know the couple. I only know him.
But you still brought a gift. You weren't empty-handed. So
So, yeah, so
still
that's where.
something.
So one of my friends told me that if you don't know what to buy, you give them cash.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a household item.
Yeah, like an appliance, like a fridge or
Okay, so if they had a registry, I would have gone to that,
Yeah.
right? Because like, but I don't want to give the same bread toaster all over again,
Yeah.
right? So it just didn't make sense. So I bought a watch. My friend was like, give cash. Then the question is, how much cash do I give? How much cash do I give so that I look like I gave a reasonable gift, but at the same time I don't look like a cheap ass?
where was the wedding?
It was at the Garhood Millennium Hotel.
Garhood Millennium.
The wedding was at the church, but the
Okay.
reception was at Garhood Millennium.
What's a reasonable amount? Is that the question?
Yeah,
I'd say minimum 500.
that's it.
Minimum.
Whoa.
I would have saved so much money if I,
would
just gave
say,
cash.
No,
The
I
watch
would
was
say
more
like
expensive.
minimum would be 1,000 or 1,500.
No, but he doesn't know them. You know the guy very well?
I know the guy enough
Would
to
you
be.
invite him to your wedding?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
See?
The
It's a-
yeah was like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
500.
Like, I would
1,000.
invite him to the reception.
Yeah, 1,000. I would say.
1,000?
Yeah.
But isn't it
Minimum.
like weird, like just
Minimum.
giving like a bill, like a fresh bill here
You
you,
put an
No,
envelope
put
and you
an
write a note
envelope,
like,
yeah.
this is something that you can start your life with.
with 1,000 dirhams?
Go on a nice date. Here you go. I like gifting experiences.
Yeah.
So, like a voucher to a nice restaurant that has a set
Or a
menu.
couple's massage
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So experience is
another
one.
thing,
So
yeah.
I've asked
Madam
my
Tussauds.
I've asked my coworkers what to get for this person because I've never been to like a Christian wedding and stuff. Like I was not sure, like a Catholic wedding was new. I don't know how it worked. So I'd ask my friend, do I go to the church? Because I got an RS, like a, what is it?
An
Save the date.
invite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save the date. And it said church at this time. I was like, do I go to the church? She's like, no, it's only for the intimate people. I was like, okay, then why
No,
did
you
they?
could go.
I can?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't
you
mind
can.
burning over there, but no, I'm kidding.
This is so confusing.
It depends how close you are to the couple. So if
No,
you're really
not
close
that
to
close. Yeah,
if
so
you're
yeah.
really close to them, of course you would like to be in their most intimate moment of vow exchanges and them walking down
Yeah.
the aisle and all that. But yeah.
Yeah.
See, we had a rule when we were selecting the invite list. How long we have we known this person, and do you expect this person to be in our lives in like the next 10, 15, 20 years? So that narrowed it down a lot. Like, okay, I just met this guy once.
What if they're old?
Yeah,
That's a
also
good
true.
question. Yeah, but they've been in the old
Yeah.
people have been in our
Yeah,
lives
they've
for
been
more
in
than
our
10 years.
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all those sort of things. But
Yeah.
it was still like, yeah,
Yeah.
we made the right choice
Mm.
in the number of people that we had.
Well, I think like 150 sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
ended up being less than 90.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
cancellations and people not being able to fly and last minute,
Yeah,
blah,
logistics
blah.
plans.
Yes.
Well, which is nice, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
it's not too intimate, but at the same time, it is
Yes.
intimate enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, when you look at the guests that you've invited,
Mm.
you'd be like, okay, these are the people that I'm happy they've seen and witnessed our wedding.
Yeah.
1,000 dirhams for a wedding. Got it.
Again, depends on how close you are
Well,
to them. If it was like a sibling, 1,000 is like
I would
too low.
imagine if it's a
Yeah.
sibling, I wouldn't give him money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Sibling
don't-
is different. Like your child, you have to give them something. Yeah,
Oh,
but if it's a
of course,
friend,
if it's a child, it's something else. You would probably pay for like half of the wedding if it was your
Yeah,
child.
let's not put me there at that spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am already struggling to reason with the fact that I have to pay for my own wedding. Like, let's
Mhm.
not go to my
right,
child's wedding.
right.
Yeah, start saving from now on.
Yeah.
Start putting your money in
I was
Sarwa.
talking to my mom about it. Like, my mom was like, yeah, it's time. You should probably see other people. I was like, okay. And I was like telling her, like, I showed her like an Excel sheet. Like, if I get married at this age, I'll need to have a child at this age. I need to save up for the school fees. And then 18 years later, I
Uh-huh.
need to go like save up for his tuition fees for university because this stupid idiot kid would want to go to US or somewhere to study and waste all my money and to do meaningless degree.
Mhm.
Right. So I need all this money. And my mom's like, are you okay? Like do you need help? Are you fine?
Why are you thinking that much to
But
future?
that's what we do. Maybe not to that extreme, but before when we decided, okay, you're my person, we want to get married. That was like a year and a half before we got married. We started saving.
Yeah,
We started putting it into Sarwa.
we did.
We
put
created a joint account and we're like, you know what, every month we're gonna commit to this amount that we're gonna put into Sarwa,
Yeah.
or whatever investment portal that you want to use, and at least that amount with the compound interest that we've received as well from
Yeah,
it,
it can help.
save as much as you can.
But
So
are
you
are-
guys started when? Like how early did you start on it?
It was almost 2 years before our wedding, even before
Yeah.
we got engaged or when we got engaged, something like that. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say maximum a year and a half
a year and a half.
Yeah.
Around. Yeah.
before our wedding.
Yeah.
We've dated for almost 3 years
So
before
you
we
could have
got married.
technically gotten more money if you started saving from then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Yes.
wasn't so sure he was the one yet.
Ah.
Until I was like, okay, I'm sure now. Let's start saving.
Yeah.
And we practice the same now. So when we have kids in the future, we have something saved for them
Yeah.
or for one kid.
She taught me a lot about my finances. So otherwise, I was just like, oh, here. Da-da-da.
My dad had that problem, right? Like my dad, when he came to Dubai, he was very good at making money. He figured out, worked hard, made his money and everything. Very bad with spending. And I think that's somehow come to me as well. Very bad with spending. And then my mom came here 1999
Mhm.
and she was like, mate, what the fuck you on about? Like, let's fix this shit.
Yeah.
And like my mom didn't come from like an accounting background or anything. She finished grade 12 and that's it.
Mm.
And she practically sorted out the entire
Good on
finances.
mom. See?
Yeah.
Women.
Not just that, my dad was driving like a coupe with like 2 doors and stuff. It's like and,
Fancy.
yeah, and my mom's like, cut it back. Like we're getting a normal sedan, like a
Yeah.
Nissan. And like some good financial decisions. Sure,
Mom
my
knows
dad
best.
lost his favorite sports car, but he had to make some sacrifices for me. But yeah,
That's how it should be.
it is fascinating to see how like I speak to my dad, I speak to my mom, and like how they see money differently.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like my dad he can't be bothered. He just wants to do his job, get it out, and
Mhm.
come home, sleep. And my mom's like pulling her hair because like my dad doesn't give a shit, right? And is that something you guys also see with yourselves, like being a couple and like
I'm the one who stresses a lot.
yeah, that adds up. I've seen Joshua.
And Josh is just a chill guy, literally in every sense. Whether that's finance, whether that's our lives, our future, travel, whether we're already late for a flight, he's still walking like he has another hour to go when the flight is about to take off. But I think that's the beauty of our relationship because he's very chill and I'm the one who stresses a
Yeah.
lot. So we balance each other out.
Yeah.
He teaches me a lot in terms of patience and in terms of
Yeah, by
just
dealing
letting
with
things
him.
go. And then I guess I teach him a lot with sometimes you have to
Urgency
you have to stress
and
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, I grew up like both of us actually. We grew up relatively like lower middle class.
Yeah.
So when I started getting money, that was when I'm like, okay, now I have things to buy. I remember when I first started working, bro. Every month I would spend maybe like 800, 900 dirhams on just clothes.
Hmm.
And even if I was working in a desk job, customer service, like mostly
Pick up the
taking
phone, yeah.
calls, I would go to Zara, Sakur, buy suits. I would come to work just taking calls with like a Zara suit, a necktie with a clip, like acting like I'm a CEO or something, bro. And I was literally on the lowest of lows, but I was acting like I was a big time guy. But of course, they say dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have. But I was going really crazy with my money, just buying anything. Oh, the new phone has come out. Back then it was like Blackberries and everything, and like, oh, getting this new.
I was a child when Blackberries were a thing. I was in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you know what our age is
Yeah.
because
Then we just age it backwards. you know,
yeah.
First
When
job,
the iPhone
Blackberries.
came
Okay.
out.
I was in 7th grade, I think. Yeah.
Oh my.
Jeez.
What's your BB pen? Let me
It,
get your
it
BB
used to
pen.
be such a huge thing in like back in school, right? The BBM pins.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like this, all these rich kids.
It was your WhatsApp.
Yeah, all these rich kids had BBM pins and they
Yeah.
text with each other, and you're
Yes.
not invited in the group if you don't have a BBM. And by the time I was able to get myself a Blackberry, like BBM became like everything. Like
Yes.
it came on Android and it's lost its value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then WhatsApp started coming in, or Facebook chat also.
Yeah, Facebook
Yeah.
chats. Yeah, Facebook
Yes.
chat
Yeah.
was pretty huge back. Like I remember 7th grade chatting with people on Facebook chats.
Yeah.
And like the BBM was like this exclusive club, you know, like all these guys like plan hangouts secretly. They don't invite you to all
Yeah.
these things because all of it's happening on BBM, and like you just feel left out.
So true. So
It's
true.
a it
And you
was-
feel important, like, oh wait, I got this email right now, and then I have to reply to it, and you're tak 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 tak.
yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you probably experienced this in your first job, right? I experienced this in 7th grade. I'm like, guys, calm down. You're like fucking children, like you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Get your act together. It's like stop acting bigger than you actually are in a way.
yeah, but it was like the craze back then, right? Like the BBM, BlackBerry was everything. Like it was like the tiny thing.
Yeah.
It sounds nice to click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click, click. And all I had was like I was pretty luxurious, like to have like an Android phone at that time, but
Mhm.
still like, it was not BlackBerry, you know, it had like a,
Yeah.
I was brought up in Riga, a lot of Filipino people, and like you see like everybody's on their Blackberries. Like it's like a thing. And like you
Yeah.
see the Indian guys, they're all on their Androids and like sending, back then voice messages weren't there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, voice
No,
notes.
no.
Voice notes
memos,
wasn't there.
no.
Like
It's all
I
text.
voice notes.
And they had limits to the characters, right? Like for
Yeah,
example, like
240
SMS,
characters or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really
But
send
voice
them.
notes probably the worst thing that has happened to the Indian community, because literally nobody knows how to type anymore.
Mm.
It's like everybody sends like 5-minute like essays on like their life.
Podcasts and
Yeah, it's like all you need to do is like compile all this, and that's just episodes after episodes.
Yeah.
Content just
Mm.
go. But like
This is why everything's so fast. Do you remember when you would type on your BlackBerry or your Nokia phones?
Oh, but
where
Nokia, when you have to press.
press.
yeah, you have to
30
press like
times or-
3 times to get an alphabet.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
You can just speak into your phone and the message goes.
Yeah. Or you
Yeah.
can do the text to speech to text.
Speech
Yeah.
to text, yeah. I've seen my mom text, right? Like my mom do the WhatsApp messages. Like she speaks and speaks and speaks and speaks, you know, like 10 minutes, and they haven't gotten to the point. Like
Yeah,
she
yeah,
like
yeah.
the question was something. She like, hi, how's your mom? How's your dad? How's your sister? How's your sibling? Hope they're good. How's your friends? How's this? How's that? How's that? That's like solid 10 minutes. And then answer, yeah, I forgot to pay you money.
It's
I'll
like
send it right
it's
now.
a voice note that turns into a call, but no one's
Yeah.
answering on the other
It's
end.
just call. You know, it's like that too. Like nowadays, like with Botem and stuff, like right, like you just pick up the phone and call, and it's
Yes.
probably a more efficient way to
Mhm.
communicate than
Yeah.
Yeah.
send like 10-minute voice notes with like zero substance in it.
Yeah, but your generation doesn't like calls. So
I hate
No,
calls.
I love
Yeah.
calls. I
You
like,
love
wanted the
calls?
hell out of them with calls.
yeah.
I have like a plan, like I got the Etisalat plan with like enough talk time. I just call people up. I can't be bothered to text and like I
Oh,
just
no.
need to.
I hate calls.
Yeah, but a lot of the youngsters right now hate calls. It gives them anxiety when they
There's a-
see
that's a,
their
that's a
phone-
whole thing, right?
phone
Like,
ringing. They're like, ah.
I get anxiety when I see
Yeah.
calls.
Calls. Yeah.
is it that,
When
that
we
kind
started
of is-
dating, I used
with
to
my,
like
with
press
my,
his
with my
buttons.
family,
yeah.
it's okay. But like if it's unknown number or
Or me.
like I Yeah,
when we
you as
first
well.
dated.
Yeah.
He told me he gets anxious with calls, and so what I did just to push his buttons further, I'm like, okay, I'll call him. When I just need like something that could be answered through a message, I'll be like, let me call him.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to answer.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I cannot.
His heart is probably palpitating.
Actually, my sister, my sister does a lot of texting. I've never seen her speak on a phone ever.
She's younger than you.
Oh yeah. It's fascinating. Like
Mm.
how do you have the time and patience to say? And that too, like ever since I started driving and stuff, you don't get that time to
Yes.
sit
Yeah,
and message. You're stuck in
Yes.
traffic. You're not picking up your phone. Like,
Yes.
mine, but
Yeah.
like you're not like you don't have the time to like sit and reply to messages. Think about it. So every time there's like a conversation, like press like to flick it up and like you
Mhm.
just talk for hours and hours and hours and you lose track of what it is.
Oh.
And that's nice. Like it's so much human, you know. It's like you feel there's like you understand, like especially text, you forget
Yeah.
the emotions behind it, right? Like you might say something but it could mean completely different
It could
thing when
be
the tone is
misinterpreted. Yeah.
yes. I've gotten into so much problems because of that, because I tend to say like the least amount of words and that comes off very rude.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
have a problem of putting full stop at
Yeah.
the end, and that sounds aggressive for some reason.
Mm.
Like nice dot, and like you know that
Or
sounds
without an emoji.
without
Yeah,
a-
without an emoji, I can like, why are you angry at me? And
Yeah.
like, what did I do? Especially like, okay, no smiling. I over emoji just so people know, like I'm cool and you are cool.
yeah
with
no
me.
that I end up overcompensating it. Like I put nice and then like to keep my phone away. You know what? I should put like a smiley face, right? And so
Yeah.
that people
Yeah.
know I'm
People
not.
know you're a
And then
chill
you go
guy and-
edit with a smile.
Yeah, the edit feature has been a massive
Yeah.
thing, right? Like it's been so useful because you have enough time to go back and like, sheesh.
Yep.
But it does show you the history, which kind of is a bummer.
Oh, it
does.
does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, it shows you. Wait,
But the
What
thing
was
that
edited.
would help a lot of people with the voice notes is now you can speed up the speed of
Yeah.
the voice note. So my dad will be like business formal English when he sends me a voice. Hello, dear Joshua, how are you? Beta? Everything, and then regards, dad, and then send it. Even in our family group chats, you see like,
Yeah.
hello, beta, how are you? Hope you are well. Trust this message finds you well.
And then he signs it off
Please do
with,
the needful. Regards,
Dad.
like it's not an email. It's just literally.
my
I know who you are.
my dad hates these voice notes. Absolutely, he's like, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Like I don't like.
Yeah,
it.
that's also there.
He
That's also
hates it.
there.
He like despises it, and he doesn't text as well,
Mm.
which becomes a really problematic situation when there's like a zero ways to communicate with him.
Mm.
So
And sometimes when you play back your voice note, you're like, that's
Oh.
how I sound.
that's like rounding back to the
Yes.
entire podcast situation, right? Like that was like
yeah,
when you started recording and things, like you'll hear yourself, you sound awful.
Yeah.
It takes so much time. That too, if you're editing,
a lot of my hobbies involve me with a microphone,
yeah,
like podcasting, comedy, and okay, if I want to post comedy, I have to do it on Instagram, and then I have to edit that reel.
and you have to listen to yourself throughout it.
I have to listen to the whole thing. Oh, did I stammer here? Do I do this?
Yeah, and when people are laughing, slightly increase the volume.
yeah. Or add in fake laughs. And they say, yeah, like if you want to be a better podcaster, or better public speaker, or a better comedian, you need to watch yourself, understand how do you enunciate this particular word? Do you pause enough here? Do you, all these sort of things? You have to read body language. So you have to literally watch and hear yourself, which is so annoying to me.
I've thought about it, right? Like I've seen like some of the people go on the like the podcast metas, right? Like
Mm.
like all these comedians doing podcasts sort of situation. They all have that same thing, like, hey, you have to listen to yourself, you have to
Yeah.
and whether it be podcast or whatever art form, I feel like that kind of removes the artistic form of it, right? Like because at one point you're over analyzing and it's no longer an art form, it becomes a chore.
So I realize that like it's more of a science, I would say.
Okay.
Because there's so many things that I've learned recently, especially when analyzing my stuff, like super small nuances, like moving the microphone away so the audience knows, that's the end of the joke. Let us laugh now. That people really
Wait, so
don't
it
think-
is like it's not actual laughter.
No,
It's kind of
is, but
social
it's-
engineered, right?
Yes, it is, and the first like 10 seconds is enough for people to know if they want to like you or not.
Mm.
So it's all like
For them to judge you.
yeah, for them to judge. Because the number one thing in comedy is not about how funny you are, it's likability.
Okay.
I can go on stage, act like a dick to some people in the audience. Even if I'm so funny, but the audience like, why is he so hostile? Why is he so mean? I'm just, even if he's funny, I'm gonna stop myself from laughing.
Mm.
There's so many people like that. So you need to have likability. Like, this guy is someone who can make fun of himself. He can make fun of people, but he's earned that right.
Mm.
He has they call it the honesty dollars. Like, I can't just go and say, like a guy like Brad Pitt, if he goes on stage like, oh, I've never had a girlfriend. I'm terrible with women. No one would ever believe that, because they'll be like, you're literally Brad Pitt and
Yeah.
dated some of the most hottest girls in the world. So there's some things which need to show that you're a little bit more down to earth, and
Relatable.
it's shown in your persona on stage. Like, if I come on with like wearing a suit and tie, and then they're okay, this guy maybe speaks a little bit like more smarter humor. And then there's comedians who like wear football jerseys on stage and have frat boy humor. Like, I was with this girl, right? And I was so drunk, and like then it falls into
Yeah, that
place.
reminds me like Jimmy Carr and stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
he is, like it's a very nuanced jokes rather than
Yeah.
like frat boy jokes, right?
Yeah.
Like it is,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
smart, dark humor, and he can get away with it. Not a lot of comedians can, actually, because now that's his brand. Like, if you see me wearing like a smiley t-shirt, all these sort of things, and I go like, what's up? How's everyone? Like a more deadpan sort of comedian, then you'll be like, oh, something doesn't fit right. It might
Right.
be a nice contrast as well. It could work like that, but it's...
But then again, it's like yes, these external factors do affect you, but at some point, wouldn't it just be people are still tuning in for the joke, right? Not
Exactly.
for the
Yeah. So so like, because there's so many people who are like even how I got into comedy, it's like I was watching someone, I'm like, I'm funnier than half of these guys. But being funny in a context like this is completely
different
different
because
from...
it's a conversation. It's
Exactly. It's a
different.
conversation. We know each other. We've met. I can just bring up, oh, I haven't got the call yet. We would laugh.
Yeah.
If I go on stage, oh, I was on this podcast. This guy said that he would ask this AI bot to call me. I have to give this whole big
context,
introduction,
and
context.
like the payoff is not that great.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, be like, this guy's just trying to explain an inside joke to us, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's completely different. Then I have to like build a proper setup and then deliver it with like a punch that everyone would be able to get it. So
And what is the market for comedy in the region? Because like it's not like US or anywhere where there's like a scene where it's like there's bars and this and that you can do. But like I would imagine that the niche over here and the people at least willing to pay for like local comedians would be a lot less compared. Like if you have like a Dave Chappelle come to Dubai, there's going to be a lot of people who are willing to pay, but a local comic is not probably going to get paid that much anywhere, right?
It's very funny you said that. Dave Chappelle actually sold out Etihad Arena, and he broke the record of the number of most tickets ever sold for any event in Etihad Arena. And Etihad Arena has had Backstreet Boys, they've had big singers, big musicians, but a comedian sold it out. Then you come to our local shows, and sometimes I'm just performing for two people and a chair. Like there's literally no one, but it depends. It depends on how the marketing has been. Also here there's like only like around 30, 40 active comedians. So if you see me once and then you'll see I'm on the same lineup again in a week, there's a 90% chance I'm doing the same jokes. So it's like, okay, I already seen this guy's stuff. That's where there's a very big drive, especially amongst comedians, to keep writing new material, pushing it out, because we have a lot of regulars who come to shows, so they know our material, and that's when they bring their friends. So if they have, I watched the show, I'm going to bring 4 people next time. Only those 4 people will laugh. I'll just be like sitting there. I might still laugh here and there, but
know the full thing.
Yeah,
it's like
I know. Like, oh, listen to
watching
this
a
part.
movie you already watched.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this guy is very funny. I'll listen to him. Even when I'm watching stand-up at home and Janine's, hey, watch this part, and I'm just watching Janine's watching him or the comedian. So but there is a very big market. A lot of comedians are very positive that this would be the comedy hub of the Middle East, like how New York is of North America. They say like Dubai would be the comedy hub, or UAE in a sense, because Abu Dhabi is doing a lot more for comedy than Dubai in terms of international acts. So,
but that's where the problem is. Like, there's so much done for the international acts, and the local acts don't get nearly. You don't see like a local. Like, how often do you see a local act opening up for Dave Chappelle? Right? It's whoever Dave Chappelle brings to open up is probably just another.
It's with him.
On
his
it's
tour.
usual openers from the States as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's literally no incentive to. There's no marketability of, or like the even though there's so much talent in.
It's more of the promoter, bro. A lot of comedians they would like international comedians would like to have local acts open, but it's the promoters of the show and the event organizers like, okay, I've never seen Joshua on stage. I cannot put him before you in front of Coca-Cola Arena
Mm.
to open up.
So what do the promoters actually do?
So they make sure that the tickets are selling. They would make sure that the show is going. The
Okay.
people get their value for money.
Mm.
If like Jimmy Carr's coming with his 2 standard openers, if I'm in the front, like a local comedian in the Middle East, they would say like, "Oh, what is there? Is there even a comedy scene in the UAE? How good is this guy?" Before we put him on a big stage like Coca-Cola Arena.
Mm.
There's some people who have a very good following now, though, on social media, like in their 500,000, 600,000, who are getting now asked to
Open up.
open shows because that's because they're popular here.
Yeah.
So let's say comedians are not selling that many tickets. Let's get one of those TikToker comedians.
So it
Open the
becomes,
show.
then it becomes like a less of a, hey, I value your talent, and more like you're just bringing reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a very
That happens a lot
exploitative.
now.
Bringing in the people.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
very exploitative in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, because
And
there's no value for the artwork or the talent involved.
yeah.
I think it differs. There are some producers who do value the art in itself, but then have difficulty bringing people on because, again, it's not yet as huge as the States. And I don't think UAE will ever be the same as the States or UK or
It's just a sheer number of
Australia.
people, right?
Yes,
Like, yeah.
it's the people and it's the places that these comedians can go. Like in the US, you could go on a tour for ages and you'll still have people that are new to your comedy or to your bits.
Yeah.
But here, you have a couple of places that you go and almost everyone who's into comedy would know your...
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
Your-
like this
your
whole
whole sets, yeah.
ecosystem, right? Like like every comedian has a podcast. They bring each other on. Like, you know,
That's how it grew. That's how the comedy boom actually grew, especially when Joe Rogan entered the scene and when he started interviewing comedians.
Mm.
There's something called the Joe Rogan bump, right? Where if you go on his podcast, your
Yeah,
followers would actually
I've-
double or even triple.
Yeah.
And it's been so evident in like a lot of the comedians that I knew back in the day before they got on Joe Rogan. Now they're like doing theaters, arenas, just because of the
Yeah,
bump that is.
that ecosystem's there. Like over here, you're barely scratching the surface of that
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
Mm.
Still a long way to go, but I'm very positive that things would get better. Just matter of time, I think, before it gets a lot better for local
It
comedians.
has gotten better.
It has
from-
gotten so
yeah.
much better.
Mm.
Yeah. When I started out, there was only one show a week.
Okay.
Now there's a show every day of the week if you
Mm.
look hard.
Do you think like it has to do with how many people are immigrating into the UAE, from different countries? Maybe the number of expats and the diversity in expats have increased, right? Like you
Yeah.
have a lot of Westerners coming in, you have a lot of Russians coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Do you think that has a factor as well, right?
For sure, bro. For the longest time, the only 3 languages that were there in comedy here was English, Hindi, and Arabic.
Okay.
Even Arabic wasn't as big as is not even as big as these other 2
Hmm.
languages. Now there's Russian stand-up comedy happening here,
Okay.
just pure Russian. Arabic is getting bigger again compared to where it was like in the last couple of years. And at the same time, you have the Arabic comedians doing English sets. You have the Russian comedians doing English sets. And sometimes, bro, you're doing a show and I'm like, people are like, oh, where are you from? Like, oh, I'm from Peru. I'm like, a person from Peru and Dubai? That's crazy. Like maybe 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't even, I don't know if I'm just exaggerating, but
No,
someone from,
I
like-
think it's also like what we are exposed to, right? Like I'm exposed to a lot of Filipinos, I'm exposed to
Yeah.
a lot of Indians, Pakistanis, like that's entire the subcontinent, right?
Yeah.
That Filipinos is who I'm exposed to. So
yeah,
to see anybody outside of that, I like a white guy,
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
then you kind of go deep and figure out that there are people from all over the world over here. It's
Hmm.
kind of fascinating.
Yeah,
And it's growing.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
growing.
it is growing.
Which is great in one way, but it's also like really congesting my like Sheikh Zayed Road after work.
It's true.
It's really pissing
And
off.
not only after work, bro, any time of the day at this point.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed, right? Before I started driving, I've never noticed this, but like as soon as I started driving, no matter when you go into Sheikh Zayed Road, there's always an
Yeah.
accident. There's always traffic jam. I've never seen the road empty before 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just sit in my office, like literally like do whatever work and everything. I leave office at like 8:30 because there's literally no point in
Enduring that traffic and spending.
and reaching home at the same time anyways.
Yeah.
Might as well. So I spoke to my company. I was like, listen, I'll just come in a little late. Like I'll leave a late, come in late. I'm going to avoid traffic both ways.
Mhm.
This is perfect.
Just
Yeah,
have to be
yeah.
creative with.
Yeah.
But like now they're also increasing the Saleks and stuff as well. And I think
It's
by the
gonna
time
be
this
much more
episode goes out,
difficult.
the Saleks already increased. And
Yes.
it's such a, and they put like Salek Gate and Alkale Road as well. So like right next to Jeddah, like
Right next to our house.
Yeah, it's right next to our
so
house.
you guys are lucky, right? Like you can just cut
Yeah. No, but if we go visit our parents stay in Mamzar and Abu Hail.
to.
So even going to visit our parents, we have to take a Salak whether we like it or not. So
Yeah,
It's always there.
which it didn't need to be. Like they could
Mm.
have just left that road now. But I mean, if you take MBZ and like you go through that way, yeah. But
then it's additional
yeah,
20 minutes and I'm like,
yeah, the petrol's going to
4
cost you
dirhams
more.
for
Yeah.
20 minutes. I'll
Exactly.
take the 4 dirhams. I'll pay the
Yes.
4 dirhams.
But yeah, again, thank you guys for coming.
Oh,
Thank
I did do most of
you.
the talking, but yeah. So,